this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song by Ed Sheeran called The City. And this is an awesome track, actually kind of came to me by request. Actually, I hadn't heard this one. And there's some awesome licks at the very beginning. There's some power chord licks, there's some finger style options, there's a lot of stuff I'm sure what we're going to talk about, and that's what I like to do, is talk about options so that you can find a way that works for you and kind of run with it and kind of say what you want to with the song. So we're going to start off with kind of that intro lick where you start 5th fret on the A string twice and then go to 7th fret on the A string. So it's kind of this big push of kind of a D, D, E note that kind of kicks off the tune. Then we come back and we do it one more time. D, E. Now you could also back that up with power chords by starting on a D5 power chord. Kind of first finger on the A 5th, third finger on the D 7th. Kind of work the D5 as kind of your D note. And then take that shape and then slide it over to for your E note. So you could even make that really thick, actually kind of even getting into the low E string for the E5 power chord. So D, E, and then you may want to make up percussion ideas. I'm kind of killing the strings with the left hand, just making up some stuff with the right hand before that other hit. So if you're playing lead guitar, that would be exactly what to do, and actually just that can make a really cool lead in into our main intro. I'm kind of working the power chords. Or those chords actually imply some smaller chords. So instead of starting on a D5, you could start on a D major by doing first finger on the G second, second finger on the high E second, third finger on the B string third. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, the beautiful sounds of D major. Now you may also dig on lifting the second finger. It's always a fun finger lift, but that makes it D sus2. Or you could add in the pinky on the high E third for the suspended chord. Now you got a couple options to say some things around the chord. And then from the D, we'd be going to kind of an E minor for that E note. And normally do this first finger on the A second, second finger on the D second. If you strum all those together, it sounds an E minor chord and it sounds really sad. And you may also dig on putting the third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, kind of working that for your E minor. So you could even make it just a chord hit, kind of a root position. D, D, E minor, D, E minor, to kind of kick it off. Or some other places you could kind of play those chords actually, and because this completely retain or goes to the finger style lick actually in the beginning, would be doing 7th fret bar for the E minor, second finger on the B 8th, third finger on the D9, pinky on the G9. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord. And you'll definitely hear that actually right after those hits. Kind of a little arpeggio of that, kind of going A, D, G, B. What you could do is kind of a picking thing. I'm trying to do down, up, just to kind of practice some alternate picking. Or you could even kind of take your fingers and line them up, thumb on the A string, index on the D, middle finger on the G, ring finger on the B string, if you're kind of interested in doing some finger style, and just kind of think thumb, index, middle, ring, kind of just straight through. And I'm kind of lifting my left hand randomly after that lick to kind of kill it. You may want to take your fingers and just set them back up on the strings. It might be cool too. And then for the D chord, you could also do this as kind of a 5th fret bar, third finger over the D, G, and B strings. Another place to play a D major is kind of a 5th fret bar D. And that's actually the arpeggio that you hear right after that. We kind of do the E minor twice, and then your D one time, and then we go to a C chord. And there's a couple different ways you could play a C major. You could do first finger on the B first, second on the D second, third finger on the A third. Kind of your big root position C major sounds really happy. Or you could lift the first finger if you want to get a C major 7 sound, or add in the pinky for a C major 9, kind of say some stuff around that. Or you may gravitate towards another C major 9, where you do first finger on the D second, second finger on the A third, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, and working that for your C major. Or you can do this as a bar, and so you can do it as a 3rd fret bar, third finger over the D, G, and B as the C major chord. And then that way you can kind of follow that lick when it comes in right after those D, E hits. You'd have the E minor idea, another E minor idea, and then we go to the D as a 5th fret bar, same idea, C major is a 3rd fret bar, same idea. So that's where that 7-9-9-8, 7-9-9-8, 5-7-7-7, 3-5-5-5 tab is kind of coming from. So you could kind of follow just those chords and that lick actually through that intro part once those licks start. Or you could use some strumming, especially if you're backing up your voice. That might be a better option. And you could even do just a down count, kind of a E minor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and D for 4, C for 4, E minor, da 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 da, D da 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 da, C da 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 da, E minor, da 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 da, da 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 da, D da 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 da, C da 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 da. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took E minor, just tried that a lot. You have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, which could be kind of a slow pace through the tune. You can do the E minor with the whole pattern, and then when you go to the D, you may want to do a down, down, up on that and the C chord to kind of half the strum pattern. Or you could split the pattern if you're kind of adventurous, and you could do the D with a down, down, up, and then the C with the up, down, up. Or you can do the D with a down, down. Sometimes I get excited when I anticipate things. You do the D with the down, down, and then go to the C for the up, up, down, which would be kind of a cool way to do it too. E minor, da 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 da, D da 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 da, C da 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 da, E minor, D da 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 da, E minor. Kind of dig on that. D, C. Or another pattern that I was really gravitating to through the song is something called the 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, up, down. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And what I mean by that is if you take the E minor and do it down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, 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 down. And then on the third beat, you're doing it up on 2, down on 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, down, 1, down, 1, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, 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 down. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, 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 down. So when you get that D, C to half it, you can do just the down, 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 up on each of those chords. Or if you're really adventurous, you can split that pattern and do the D with the down, 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 up. And then go to the C for the up, down, down, up, down, up. So we kind of dig on that, kind of split in the 16th. E minor, D, C, power chords too. If you really just want to rock it out, you could start on the E5 power chord and then go to the D5 power chord and just take that shape and slide it down to a C5. So you could do 3rd fret on the A string, 5th fret on the D string for a C5 power chord. So that might be a cool option even with the strumming options. You know, especially if you're backing up somebody, that might be a cool line to kind of be aware of. Then we'd be going into our main verse chorus. So kind of repeat that intro idea 4 times. And we go into kind of this alteration of what we've been doing, where we start on the E minor, but then we go to a B minor chord. And normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar, 2nd finger on the B 3rd, 3rd finger on the D 4th, pinky on the G 4th. If you strum all those together, the sad sounds of B minor. Now you may also dig on lifting off the pinky, making that a B minor 7, or another way to play B minor 7. Be doing 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd, kind of working that for B minor. Or you may dig on kind of a drone voicing for B minor, doing 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd. Very, very similar to that E minor idea. There's only Or you may even dig on lifting off the pinky that, making that a B minor 11. Or if you're really wanting to rock this out, you just play it really, really heavy, you could use a B5 power chord, doing first finger on the A second, third finger on the D fourth fret, kind of like the B5. So you can work E5 to B5, and then we go to a kind of a C idea, but then we go to a G major chord. Normally you do this first finger on the A second, second finger on the low E third, third finger on the high E third. Beautiful sound of the G major. Or you may dig on putting third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, kind of working that for the G major. Or if you're wanting to rock it out, you could use a G5 power chord and doing first finger on the low E third, third finger on the A fifth, kind of work the G5. So you can even make it a power chord hit if you're just starting out and you just want to move that shape around. E5, E5, C5, G5, E5, E, C, G. Or you could use a strumming option, and all these chords are kind of halving like we were talking about with the D and the C in the intro. So you got kind of that E minor, B minor, C for 4, G for 4 is kind of that main idea. E minor 2, 3, 4, B minor, C, G. Or if you're doing the down, down, up, everything is halving. So you want to do just down, down, up if you're just starting out. E minor, B minor, C, down, down, up, G, down, up, E minor, B minor, C, G. Or you could split that pattern. Idea of everything's halving, so you can do just the down, 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 up on each of those chords, or you can split the pattern. E minor, down, down, B minor, down, 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 C, down, down, G, up, down, 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 up. And we'll repeat that 4 times, and then we go into our pre-chorus part. And our pre-chorus, actually, it's kind of like this big build-up. You can maybe gravitate to downs, especially on the last 2 Gs. But you kind of start out on the C chord, kind of for full A, D for full A, and then E minor, and then G, but you'll hear this crazy cool lick come in, where you can play the open G, open B, open G, first fret on the B, open G, open B, open G. Almost kind of work around the chord. If you want to use that. And we got our C, D, but then we go straight to the G, and it really does feel like almost like a big down build up to kind of work up a lot of energy to go into the chorus part. Or if you're doing the down, down, up, down, up, you have that C, D, E minor, through that G. That seems really weird. D, G, or you might want to build up on it. Or if you're digging on the 16ths, you have the C, D, E minor, G, chorus part. Our chorus is just like our verse, actually. When we kind of do our E minor, B minor, C, G. So you want to even experiment with kind of mixing up all these options. Or if you've got some patterns that you like, you might gravitate to that too. So we got that same pattern for our chorus. E minor, B minor, C, G. But then you kind of hear a big hit on the E minor. You may want to kind of make up some percussion. And then you may want to hit that D, E power chord lick to lead into the next verse. Now, one other thing that you may want to think about adding to the song is bass notes. And a lot of times on that very first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw a bass note in for the chord. So on the E minor, you have low E for the bass. On the B minor, you'd have the A for the bass. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass. On the D, you'd have the D for the bass. Unless you're doing the A string bass or A string D, and then you have the A string for the bass. And on the G, you'd have low E for the bass. And on the E minor, you'd have low E for the bass. inside kind of that verse with a bass down, up, down, up, kind of an idea. And what you may want to do is kind of do just a bass down, up, just to get used to that. Kind of E minor, C, G, E minor, C, G. Or you could split it with basses. E minor, down, E minor, up, down, up, C, G, up, down, E minor, C, G. Or if you're digging on the 16th pattern, you could add basses to that, and you could work it off of bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. So you could work a bass down, down, up on each chord. E minor, C, G, E minor, C, G. Or you may dig on kind of working that as a split pattern idea. E minor, bass, down, down, up, and then go to the B minor for the up, bass, down, down. And then C with the bass, down, down, up. And then G with the up, bass, down, down, up. So we kind of dig on that too. E minor, C, E minor, B minor, C, G. Repeat that progression 8 times for our verse. And then we go into our pre-chorus part. So you could do that with a bass down, up, down, up. And you have that C, D, minor, G, C, D, now G, G. Or if you're digging on the 16th, you could work it with the 16th pattern. Okay, C, just like the verse progression, you could kind of work any of those ideas we were talking about. Bass, down, bass, down, bass, down. Kind of working the 8th idea. Or the 16th idea. We do that idea 4 times for our second chorus. And then we go into our bridge part. And our bridge, actually, we get to use a lot of the whole pattern. So on the bridge with the bass down, up, down, up. You have the E minor, G, oh, but then we go to an A minor chord. Normally you do this first finger on the B first fret, second finger on the D second, third finger on the G second. And if you strum all those together, it sounds an A minor chord. It sounds really sad. Now you may also want to lift the first finger, add an A sus2, or add in the pinky on the B third, and kind of say some stuff around that chord. Or you may dig on lifting the third finger for an A minor 7. Adding in the pinky on the high E third for an A minor 7. Or you may dig on an A7 sus by doing first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, which would be a very cool option because that way you could read 3 and 4 down for that change from the G to the A minor. So you have the E minor, G, A minor, A7 sus, C, ideas. Or if you're digging on the 16th, you have the E minor, G, A minor, C, E minor, G, C, kind of a big D hit. Or randomly, if you are digging on kind of, we're thinking this as power chords, you could use an A5 power chord for the A minor, kind of the open A, and second on the D string is an A5. Or you could do 5th fret on the low E, 7th fret on the A as an A5. So you could even think about it as a power chord thing if you wanted to. And we hadn't really talked about it, but even just the low part of that E minor, the open E, and the 2nd fret on the A, that's another way to do E5. So you could have your E5, G5. If you're backing options, so you could really work that either of those ways. C, or you mix up between them. E minor, G, C, all into it, y'all. And then from there, then we go into our last chorus. You work that any of those ways we talked about. It's kind of E minor, C, G, minor. Or you can mix it up all kinds of ways. So there's stuff that you know how to do randomly. Or throw it in that F sharp from the G to the F sharp to the E minor at the very end could be very cool. Almost thinking G, D/F sharp, or D/F sharp. It up and kind of make it your own too. But that's the basics of how you get strung through the city, and please do like this video and subscribe to the channel if you kind of dig on this or found some options that really helped you out. So best of luck.